the end of the session, I'm going to put the family sword. It's made out of demon's blood.
You know, I've never heard of anyone manipulating their blood using it as a sword.
The executioner's blade, as it slices up people and absorbs their blood. It uses the iron it takes in to regenerate itself.
Oh, this is definitely the grossest thing I've ever done. And I've done a lot of gross things.
One weapon trope that I notice a lot in fantasy, and especially in anime, is the blood sword. It's a sword that's made entirely out of blood or from the iron in blood. But just how possible is the blood sword? I think I'm gonna need a quick consult. Brian Louden is my fellow contestant on Mythbusters The Search and is a trained blacksmith and microbiologist.
So, it sounds like you'd be the perfect person to help me out with this problem. How many guys am I gonna have to kill here to make a sword out of their blood?
So, assuming an average sword about 1.5 kilograms for a medieval sword, right? That would mean we need 375 people, adult males, that we kill. So I have another option.
All right.
We can go out and take a blood donation. That's about 1/10 of their blood, which means we only need 3,750 volunteers.
Oh, sure, yeah, that's easy stuff.
It turns out your typical adult male has about 5.5 liters of blood in their body, but only 4 grams of iron. So while mathematically it should be possible to forge a sword just out of blood iron, I'm gonna call this practically impossible. That being said, there's more than one way to skin a cat and turns blood into a sword. Back in the Victorian era, a material called hematite was made by steam heating and hydraulically pressing blood and sawdust into molds. Hematite was a precursor to modern day plastics and was used to make hard and durable objects such as doorknobs and even roller skate wheels. And this is a delicious blood curd. Blood like this is typically solidified using a combination of heat, salt, or vinegar. What this does is uncoil long protein molecules in the blood. This process is known as denaturing and is used to make a wide variety of natural adhesives. So what I'm going to try and do is make a blood glue using pig's blood and pure acetic acid, then mixing that with sawdust to create a composite material. Hopefully, this material will be sufficiently hard and durable to make a sword.
Let's see what 5 gallons of pig's blood looks like. All right, take a look. Oh! Oh my God! That is a horror show. Oh. Okay, so there's some clotting going on up here. It's almost like a syrup. So I'm very happy with this.
That's why you guys found a cop when it's the birthday cop?
Oh, I'm splashing it.
Got blood on my finger.
It's kind of gross. All right. Looks pretty sweet. Kind of wish that I was just done here and not trying to make this out of blood. Here's the plan. This piece of wood is going to act as a mold. This wooden sword is going to act as a press. We're going to fill the mold with our blood and sawdust mixture and then put this wooden sword on top. That way, this blood and the sawdust will keep the sword shape that we want. Then I'm going to get the whole family to stand on this and hopefully provide at least 500 pounds of pressing force. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay, this congealed a lot while it was sitting. Next up, acetic acid. This is a good idea. Are you getting that audio? It's like a meatball. That's actually looking really good. It looks like we got just the right amount of blood in there. The sawdust has taken it all up and it's become sort of a nice pliable dough. So let's get this in the sword mold. It smells like ketchup.
This is a square dowel rod that I'm putting down the middle of the sword. I'm really dubious as to the strength of a blood and acid and sawdust mixture. So this is going to be right in the core of the sword. It's going to provide sort of a backbone. All right, so everyone, just step on the sword, okay? I'm going to stand over here. There, you got it? There. You can stop recording now. You can stop recording this.
Sufficiently advanced.
Let's take a look. It definitely pressed. Wow, that's a lot of foam that came out. That's great. That means we're pushing all the little air pockets out of the sawdust and blood mixture, but it looks gross. I'm gonna make sure that I didn't just glue this huge board of wood together with this blood glue. I'm gonna try and lift this off, and hopefully it comes off sort of cleanly. If not, I'll just flatten it back out, because I wanna hit this stuff with a hair dryer. Oh, that is not bad. That looks nice. Look at that. It looks really uniform. God, if this wasn't so disgusting, it'd actually be beautiful. This is like gross Man-at-Arms. Now that we've put some pressure on the blood sword, the last thing we need is some heat. This is gonna be hot enough to help congeal and dry out the blood without burning it. Oh, so right off the bat, there are a few problems. This stuff has actually shrunk quite a bit, and while it was drying overnight, we've lost some parts. We've lost part of the tip here, and a bit of this cross section here. It's still sort of in one piece. It also feels like an overcooked cake. It's not exactly hard. So let's give this a little bit more drying time and see what happens. It turns out we have a space heater, so this helps a lot. I've been letting the sword cure all day. Parts of the sword have actually become crumbly and started falling off in pieces, and also some large cracks have actually been showing up. Now I could fix these with something useful like wood glue, but this is a blood sword, so I've been trying to fix everything best I can with more blood glue. I'm gonna keep letting this cure, and hopefully that'll just sort itself out. Here's the finished blood sword. What I've done is taken a jigsaw and cut sort of a beveled edge on one side. This will be our cutting edge. It's like a 90-degree angle or something, but it should be enough to do a watermelon because the ice was able to do it. I painted the edge with more blood glue to try and solidify it more, and it actually dried to almost like a semi-gloss finish, which I really like. So I ended up painting the rest of the sword with more blood glue too. As the blood sword cured, it started developing a lot more cracks. And what happened was the handle actually came completely off. What I really should have done was painted the dowel with blood glue before I set it in there, so that's a lesson learned. What I've done is replaced it with a PVC pipe that's just JB welded onto that poplar dowel rod in there, and then I wrapped it with some leather really quick. This is actually way cooler than what it was before, so I'm happy about that. And the rest of the sword is still made out of nothing but sawdust and blood, so it totally still counts if I'm able to use it to cut a watermelon. It's not the most solid thing in the world, but it is actually hard. It reminds me of something made out of like plaster strips or something. So I think it might actually have a decent chance of cutting through the watermelon. Here's the setup. We've got 2 tables and half a watermelon straddling the space so that I can swing clear through. It's half a watermelon so that's more stable, which we learned from last year, and also because we already ate the other half of the watermelon. It is currently 0 degrees Fahrenheit in Illinois, so let's do this quick, because it is cold. Blood sword in 3, 2, 1. Oh! Oh no! Oh no! I cut the watermelon in half though! That totally counts.
Watermelon versus blood sword. That is a tie. 1-1. Call it that. But look at this.
That's a clean cut. Right in half. Check that out. That was not bad. Myth busted.
Man, that ain't Natchy.
I don't care about Natchy.
We'll talk about this later.